Hello, our dear investors. Welcome to the Tips of the Day 58. Today's topic is how to trade with different terms. I'm the speaker, Jessie Joe. Okay, firstly, let's look at the outline of today's class. The first one is I want to talk something about the short term, medium term, and the long term. The second one is operations mentality of short term, medium term, and long term. The third one is the judgment method of practical trading. So let's look at them one by one. The first one is something about the short term, medium term, and long term. Investors are always faced with this question, which term should they choose? So before our investors have the investment in the share market, so they will think about what kind of investor they want to be. So which term they should choose. So short term, medium term, or long term, it depends on the trend. It depends on the trend. So I know a lot of investors when they invest in the share market, they plan to be a short-term investor. So because they wanna um, get profit in the with less time. But once they buy in, the price just have a correction. So they will buy a high point, and just after they buy in, the price goes down. So they will get locked in the share. So they become from a short-term investor to medium-term investor. So and they can't get their money back from the share. They will be locked. So for a long time. So become from the medium-term investor to long-term investor. So it is not up to you. It's up to the stock, right? Up to the share you invest in. So it depends. It should be dependent on the trend, not the trend of the share. So whether you want to be a short-term, medium-term, or long-term investor. So the second one is operations mentality of short term, medium term, and long term. So here I want to talk about three tips. As we all know, there are three main movements in the same time in the market. It is come from the door theory. So the first movement, the three movements is three movements are main movement, secondary movement, and the daily fluctuation. So here I want to give three tips about these three main movements. Holding time is usually within 6 days. So the longest time is not more than 2 weeks. If the share price does not form a continuous increase, this is the short term. So this is the short term. So the second one is holding time for 3 weeks to several months, and the share price formed a continuous increase for the share. So this is the medium term. And then the third one, not according to the rhythm of the periodic market into retreat. So willing to put up with the periodic correction of substantial. So what does it mean? What it means is the investors will hold the share for a long term, or they will hold the share for many years, even for many years. So they aren't affected by the correction of the share, but make sure the trend of the share is uptrend. So this could be a long term. So here, whether you want to be, so here will be another problem. So what kind of investor you want to be, long term, medium term, or short term? So here I want to talk about something about our investment philosophy of our Home Lee. So the first one is index first and the stock next. Which means you should make sure the condition of the index is good. It is in a bull market, and then you can choose the stock because when it is in a bull market, 80% of the shares are in uptrend. So the second one is long term first, short term next. Which means you should make sure in the long term the share is in uptrend, and then when you make sure the share is in uptrend, you could find the opportunity when after the correction of the share in uptrend, you can buy in. It will be a buy point. So long term first, short term next, and always operate with the familiar of your familiar with the share you operate. So don't always change your share. Okay, so here the third one is the judgment method of practical trading. So when you have the investment philosophy, when you decide which term you want to choose, you should have the judgment method of practical trading, because the last step for our investors is trading. Okay, so uh here I wanna talk about two indicators in the for the today's practical trading rules. Okay, the first one is homely rainbow, and the second one is multicolor dragon necks. So I think if our investors have watched our video before, will familiar with this indicator, multicolor dragon necks. So here I want to talk more about the homely rainbow. So homely rainbow, can help us to see different period bankers cost line. So here you will see it has four mainly colorful lines. So the white color, the blue color, yellow color, and red color. Okay, so here I wanna give example, such as the 4731. It is a share from the Malaysia. So you will see which the colorful line. Every colorful line stands for what. So you will see from the first one is here is the white line. Can you see the white line? So the white line here it is stands for the long-term capital cost line. Okay, the second is the blue line. Blue line is the medium to long-term capital cost line, and the yellow line stands for the short to medium-term capital cost line, and the red line is short-term capital cost line. And you will also see here is the green line, and it's only one line, right? One green line. So it stands for the left line, which stands for the left line of the price. Okay, left line of the price. So here it's just a one line. So we mainly pay attention to the white line, blue line, and the yellow line, and the red line. So here you will see different lines stand for different term. It will have the long term, medium to long term, and short to medium term, and the short term. So this indicator could satisfy. I think this indicator could satisfy different terms in MySearch, no matter which term you want to choose. So here you will see when the colorful line is ordered just like this, the white line in the bottom, and then the second line is blue line, then yellow line, and red line. When it's ordered just like this, it is bullish signal. So we should mainly buy in and hold this share, just like this. 4731. Okay. Next, I will give another example. So, oh, Genting. So I think this is a blue chip. This share is very popular in Malaysia. So I think our investors from Malaysia will very familiar with this share. So, okay, you will see here. I also draw a circle, a blue circle here. Can you see? So this 3 times it is get the resistance of the medium to long-term capital cost line. So when the candlestick is below the colorful line will be the resistance. Every group colorful line could be resistance and support for the price. So here, when the candlestick is below the blue line will be strong resistance. So for the price, so you will see here it is 3 times, okay, 3 times it is get the resistance and the price goes down. So you will see here it is different, right? So you will see here it is different because the price, the candlestick is break the resistance of the long-term capital cost line. So here once the candlestick, once the price could break upward long-term the long-term resistance line, so it will be pushed up a lot, and you can double confirm this shares condition with this indicator multicolor dragon X, and you will see here the locked chips are becoming less and less, and the funds are becoming more and more, and it is over the 50%. So you will see once the bullish signal formed, we should mainly buy in and hold this share. So if you are a long-term investor, you could buy in here when it gives a young candlestick, and the price could stand stable on the white line. You can buy in. Okay, so this indicator homely rainbow both in our homely chart and also our PC version. Our PC version will have the indicator, and our members, our homely members could find this indicator in the channel, okay, in the right, in our SoFi right, in the right column. Okay, there is a channel and CHN. You can find this indicator in CHN. Okay, so next share is this share is from Singapore. Okay, I give an example from Malaysia and also an example from from Singapore. Okay, this share you will see here when the price get the resistance of the short-term to medium capital cost line, which means when it come to the yellow here, when it come to near the yellow colorful line, it got the resistance and comes down, the price goes down, and then here once it breaks the resistance of the medium to long-term capital cost line. Here, can you see here? So it give a young candlestick, and it gets support from the medium to long-term capital cost line. So the price will be pushed up, right? So you will see here, why different here and here different. These two places is different because here no bankers in, and here the bankers are becoming more and more, and it can choose the price totally. So it could push up the price in long term. So in long term, it is uptrend. So bullish signal formed. So we can mainly buy in and hold this share. Okay. So next is T48. It's also a share from Malaysia. So just like the other two shares, so you will see in the long term, I mean, it breaks the resistance of the medium to long term and also the long term capital because it break upward the blue line and also the white line. So the price will push up a lot. So the bullish signal once formed, it will be pushed up. So we should mainly buy in and hold this share. So in long term, if our investors who have this share, you can hold this share, mainly buy in and hold, right? So if our investors who didn't have this share, so don't buy in, okay? Because the price have already pushed up a lot. And if you want to buy in this share, wait, wait, wait a correction. After the correction, it is supported by the colorful line, and it give a young candlestick. You can buy in, and now it is, so it is definitely not the buy point, okay? So as we talked before, it is knowledge and tool, and when you have the knowledge and the tool, you will have a better mindset in the share market, and then you could get the success. Okay, so here is if you want to know more information, you can contact me, and also you can uh, add me as a Facebook friend or WeChat friend to know more uh, information about the share market. Or if you want to communicate with me, you can add me as your friend, or just call me, it's okay. So here is the Singapore and the Malaysia contact information, so you can call the hotline for more information. So today's class will be all. So thank you all of our dear investors, and good luck in the share market. Goodbye. See you next time.